this is Graham and welcome back to another car review. Today we are driving a 2018 EcoBoost Mustang, and it is basically the exact opposite of the 2018 GT that I drove, because this is a base model EcoBoost with the 10-speed automatic. So you got a different engine, different transmission, and different amenities. But I'm actually really excited. It's going to be a nice kind of comparison between what you get on like the very best and then like the lowest level. So I think first things first, it's a 4-cylinder turbo, which I think the world is starting to accept in the Mustang. It's not quite, it doesn't seem quite as odd as it did when it was first introduced in 2015. But I've got to say, this engine feels incredible. It's kind of mind-boggling just how much power this 4-cylinder turbo actually has. It is 310 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque, which people wouldn't even have dreamed of that being possible, like 10 years ago. 4-cylinders just weren't capable of that, but these days, this car makes more power than my 3.7 liter V6 and a heck of a lot more torque. And with this 10-speed transmission, I mean, it really hammers. It's pretty impressive. But I gotta say, the 10-speed transmission feels, it's an odd sensation, because it almost feels like the car can't quite choose what gear it wants to be in, because it's just constantly changing. Something I noticed just driving in, the standard automatic mode. But what the 10-speed automatic does give you is a much shorter gear ratio, which means this car is even faster than it would be with the 6-speed manual. And so when you put your foot down, it really starts shifting gears, and it just goes. I mean, it hauls. Yeah, you know what I mean. And it's really, really surprising from what is supposed to be the more economical, more wallet-friendly Mustang. It's basically the car that you want the looks and like the feel of the Mustang, but you don't want to spend the extra $10,000 to $20,000 for a Mustang GT. And this car actually feels like an incredible option. It's not just your budget sports car. It is a truly capable, like driving oriented machine. And with this car, you get all the driving modes where you can select Sport, Sport Plus, Track, all of that stuff, line lock, drag racing, all the fun stuff. It's got the steering feel that you can adjust between comfort and sport and all of that. You can easily turn the traction control off with the switch down here. And then of course you have the touch screen, and you have the computer up here, that's stuff that you didn't get that wasn't even an option in the base model just a year ago. So you get all that good stuff. Of course, you don't have the digital gauges like you have in the premium package, but you do have the classic dual dial Mustang gauges, which is, of course, in my opinion, one of the best parts about a Mustang. So what I'm saying is, you get so much for your money with the EcoBoost. That it's hard to really justify spending the $15,000 more on the GT. Of course, you get some great goodies with the GT. One of those perks being 460 horsepower, but you shouldn't just blow off the EcoBoost anymore, because it's not a rental car. It's a real sports car. And with that light nose up front, you can really toss this thing around the corners and you can really have a lot of fun with it. Of course, you know, Ford does pipe in the audio, so the exhaust note that you get isn't real, and the exhaust note that you would get wouldn't sound that good in the first place. But to me, that's not something that like is a turn-off. It's just something to think about. So when you go and put an exhaust on this car, there are some good exhausts out there, but when you go and put an exhaust on this car, you might want to be wary. It's not going to sound like it does through the speakers. It's going to sound a little bit more like a 4-cylinder. But of course, that's if you put an exhaust on this car, which I think the exhaust tips that they're putting on these cars look nice now. They're not, they don't look like they're just made out of cheap sheet metal. They're actually, you know, they've actually had some thought put into them. And then of course you have this note through the speakers, which sounds good. So, you know, you might not end up wanting to put an exhaust on it, and that's fine. Again, this is an incredible package that that I definitely think is worth considering, especially if you're looking for a sports car in the $30,000 range, because this is like probably the best car that you could get for the money these days. I know there's other options out there that'll come close, but just the way that this car drives, the way that it handles, the power that it has, and the gas mileage that you get, it all plays a part in kind of making this one incredible package, and something that is definitely worth looking at. But I guess with that, we'll wrap it up. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have enjoyed my review today. If you did, please leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and of course I will see you all in the next video. And as always, take it easy.